Nice. All right, and welcome to another episode of Nerdy Up North Reviews, where I take a series and ask, is it worth a watch? And today I'm joined by the big boss himself, Paul.
Me!
Hey!
Yes, I'm joined by little Chris.
And cheers for coming on my little review thing.
Cheers for asking me, and cheers for putting the effort in. That's the important thing. The effort that Chris puts in is bigger than a mountain.
Don't be praising this, man. It's weird.
Sorry, you're a twat. It's fine. It's all better.
Oh, that's better. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we'll,
But
we'll get we'll,
uh,
we'll get his king out the way now.
but yeah, I wanted to do the review episode for Creature Commandos, and you were
Mhm.
like, actually, I've started watching this. This is pretty good, and you wanted on straight away, which I'm always happy for someone to come on and talk stuff with us about.
Mhm.
But what's your experience with DC like in the past?
See, I am a DC fanboy, so
Yeah.
let's have a look. Got the Superman tattoo, so
Mm.
I am, and Poison Ivy as well. That's sure there. I'm not sure on the
Different
screen.
do that hand signal.
That's right. I have got a distinguished hash like certain members of the Nerdy Up North team. Um, but yeah, well, I did say I was not cutting anything out, but yeah, we'll leave that in. Yeah, so I am a DC fanboy. Like I say, I love the comics, love the movies. Grew up believing a man could fly with the Christopher Reeve Superman. There is with any type of like comics that is DC or Marvel, there's realms and backstories and side quests and side stories, and there's certain aspects that I'll be honest, I don't have a fucking clue about. I'm not going to come on here and say I know everything about these characters because before they announced they were doing a Creature Commandos show, I didn't even know this was exist. So to
Yeah.
find out this was a comic book, I was like, oh shit. I've heard of certain characters that's in this because they do play parts in certain storylines, certain shows, certain aspects that what came about. So it's always quite interesting to kind of live in this world. And I think we were talking before we went off camera. Um, we're in a new kind of phase for DC, like media, shall we say? Because it's not just the comics anymore. It's not just TV shows. It's not just films. It's kind of like an entertainment. So DC media would probably because so we're kind of in the gun era. So
Hmm.
there's been a lot of confusion because when James Gunn was involved with the DC, it was still part of like say the Snyderverse or the Snyder Cut. Like these characters were still intertwining. And we got his version of the Suicide Squad, which was amazing. I thought it
Yeah.
was like say really well done. Then we had the runaway hit that was Peacemaker that had no right to be as good as it was. Um,
Yeah.
like I say, a lot to do with John Cena. And a lot of what came out now, they've said certain parts of it is canon. There's certain aspects it is part of this era. There's certain things and certain things that's not. So as a fan, it is a little bit confusing. But this, what they released, the Creature Commandos, is what I don't know if it's officially or non-officially the first bit of content from the gun era of DC going forward. So this is like almost like the starting point, I would say. So if you
Yeah.
want to get
Yeah.
into DC going forward, this is a good starting point and a good way to kind of find your footing on the feel on what's going to be going forward as well. Because this was not a cartoon that I was expecting, to be honest. I don't know about you.
Yeah. No, this is my first proper look into animated DC stuff. Obviously,
Mm,
there's Superman and that, which I was like, I'm not a big fan of Superman, but
mm,
everyone has their own
mm,
things. But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this. This is a jumping off point. This is
mm.
start of the gun era, the Gunniverse, James
The
Gunniverse,
Gunverse. The Gunverse. We'll
Gunverse.
coin that one. Yes.
Yeah, but everything, even the style that it's more adult,
Hmm.
the music in it was spot on, voice
Yeah.
acting, even the plot.
Hmm.
I know you said that you didn't know about the actual characters in the comics,
Hmm.
neither did I, but I had a little look at a couple of them, like
Mhm.
Weasel, and I think I sent you the picture of what he looks like in the comment, the
Yeah.
little blue thing, which is like I like the this version better than him.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
obviously, I don't know anything about the story or anything, but this is
Mhm.
total fresh perspective for me.
Mhm.
But actually, before we get into the actual series, should we have like a spoilery synopsis? This
Yeah,
this
you.
probably will be a spoiler.
I want you to put
Like,
your big boy superhero voice on as you do it, almost like you're a narrator. Put your best Phoebe impression on, that Phoebe's impression.
that's just Miranda from Miranda Hart in it.
She'll kill you.
It's I call it all the time. But yeah, Creature Commandos is an animated series that serves as the inaugural installment of the DC Universe's Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters. So it's based on a comic book that I've never read. The narrative follows Amanda Waller, who, after the events of Peacemaker, is restricted from deploying human operatives for covert missions. To
Mhm.
circumvent this limitation, she assembles a team of incarcerated, non-human individuals, codenamed Task Force M, to undertake a perilous alignment. So, this team is led by Rick Flag Sr., who is could have been filled by anyone, in
Mhm.
my opinion. He's just a bloke who
Mhm.
uh, has a gun. I don't know anything about him besides that.
No.
It's got the bride, a reanimated corpse
Mhm.
who's Frankenstein's bride, but it's got a bit of a twist in there.
Mhm.
Dr. Phosphorus, a scientist transformed into a radioactive being. GI robot, a combat robot who hates Nazis.
Yeah, he really hates the Nazis.
Yeah, loves killing them.
Yeah.
Weasel, a creature with mysterious and unsettling nature with a really tragic backstory.
I,
You messages when you saw that.
yeah, it broke me that episode. Like, honestly, I never thought I would care about Weasel. I thought he was just going to be the comic relief. But again, I'm side parting there, so I'll.
Yeah, yeah. Nina Mazursky, a woman transformed into a fish person.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and basically, this whole series is introducing the characters, their backstory, with an overarching storyline of the protecting the princess Ilana Rostovic from Pakistan, from the rogue Amazonian sorceress. Is it Circe? Circe?
Cersei's, yeah.
Yeah. Um, Basically, that's what the season one is about. Introducing characters with a loose overarching theme of protecting this princess or killing the princess, depending on which half of the series you're watching.
No, definitely.
But yeah,
Yeah, I have to give you kudos for your pronunciations. Like I say, when we did the video with Joe the other night, I was impressed with some of your pronunciations there. Chris is becoming the name king of Nerdy Up North. He can get the words out that me and Sammy clearly can't.
oh,
Um,
don't say that.
Interesting though, because you've just mentioned the characters, which is great. Amanda
A
Waller.
rough one.
Amanda Waller, who is played by the amazing Viola Davis, is be
Mhm.
universal from this character from the the original Suicide Squad with Will Smith. She's kind of like the surviving character throughout all these universes, and they're used by the same actor. You sent us a message saying you weren't feeling her like initially, were you?
No, because all the episodes, basically, these are all monsters, whether perceived monsters or the actual just bastards.
Hmm.
Um, when I got to Nina's backstory, which was the second last episode, or was it? No, it was the last episode of the series. I don't. She didn't really do much in the team because
Hmm.
it is not a waterlogged city.
Hmm.
She's only useful in
Oh no,
water, and
sorry.
even then.
Different character. Sorry, Amanda Waller. She was the leader of the task force. She
Sorry.
was the people who picked the team, and you sent us a message saying, I'm not
Oh,
feeling her. She's not like because all the voice actors put so much effort in. And you were saying, well, this feels very flat.
oh yeah. Sorry, I
Yeah.
got that wrong. Yeah, I felt like she was a bit mumbly,
Hmm.
and I don't know if she was playing that
Hmm.
on purpose because there was other scenes where I've got it. I like thought, oh yeah, she's actually a good voice actor.
Hmm.
Um, like when she's shouting, when she becomes when she has the vision.
Hmm.
Um, I'm like, yep, that's what I want to see for the rest of it. And then the rest is just like, yes, get the monster team out. And, I don't know. That was
There
just a
is.
feeling that I got.
Yeah, there's a
Obviously,
reason for that though, and again, I think it's great that you picked up on that aspect with Amanda Waller because she is soulless. She has to be the cool, calm, collective, n shows zero emotions in any type of situation because she's basically tasked now, like because Force X was Suicide Squad and Task Force M for the Monster Squad.
mm,
80s reference there for anyone who's watching. Um, she's got to make the big decisions and make the big plays. And if she does use any type of emotion, then she can't do what she does. So I
yeah,
think in the even in the like Suicide the Peacemaker series, like one of the actresses in it plays Amanda Waller's daughter, and she's kind of like, right, send it to her death. She's got to be that cold a lot of the time. So I understand, like, if you've not known anything about the character and think, well, I want a bit more from her, which is total, like, say, as a fan. But if you look at
right.
Amanda Waller's backstory from the comics, even when she was in like Arrow, the movies, she is the most heartless bitch you will ever meet, like worse than anyone, and she never gets emotional. It's all about her safety and what what the plan is and getting the job done. That's all she cares about. And I thought, like I say, Viola Davis, who plays her, is absolutely amazing. Like in that role, that's why she's been kept on in every single like aspect of Amanda
Right.
Waller as well.
Oh, so that makes sense in context. Obviously, I'm
Mm,
coming in fresh, like I said.
yeah,
Um,
but I didn't want to text you that because I wanted to have this conversation.
yeah, no, it's fine. It's useful because I was thinking I didn't think she was a bad voice actor. I think she played it in a certain way. I was just like, oh yeah, she is emotionless, but yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense now in context.
In context. Well, again, that's again something that DC needs to take on board as well. That not everyone will have experienced all of these characters or experienced the storylines. So again, I know people complain like over explaining, but at least give an explanation why certain people are like that can go a lot farther. I know, saying that though, in this universe that's been created, we are going to get a lot more Amanda Waller. She's going to be everywhere, so you will see a lot because she's one of the main players who's behind the scenes, like fingers in the pies type thing. So it'll be quite
We need an
interesting.
Amanda Waller episode.
Amanda Waller
She
episode.
goes back to our childhood where people are nicking candy off her and that. She's like, I don't care.
So take me candy, I'm gonna shoot you. That's how
Yeah,
it. But yes, but no, like all the other characters, I know you were a big fan of David Harbour in this as well, which is
yeah,
again, which is weird seeing because David Harbour is great in mostly everything he does, but he fit Frankenstein so well.
yeah.
I think that was the big thing for me.
Yeah, he was like a weird buff incel, wasn't he? I
Hmm.
would say for the bride,
Yeah.
where basically they have this couple of hundred years where David Harbour, Frankenstein, is chasing the bride because
Hmm.
she's there was a horrible past where she was brought into existence, fell in love with Frankenstein's doctor's
Dr.
be Doctor Frankenstein.
Frankenstein, yeah.
Yeah, Frankenstein kicked off because he's like, she was created to be my wife, and then killed him, and
But
other
killed
things
him.
happen.
I killed him because he caught her for banging her though. Like, like
Yeah, yeah,
necrophilia. Is that okay in this? Just saying because technically she is
yeah.
dead.
But it's like every male that talks to the bride, he's just like, have you got a thing with my wife? I'm gonna kill you now, kind of
Yeah.
thing. It's like tip the fedora kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if, I don't know, an incel's wet dreams, oh yeah, I'll protect my lady.
It's it's basically like Chris going around, you're looking at Molly. I'm gonna fight you. You try to take Molly off us. Like, even though Molly is the most beautiful woman in the world, and like everyone does want to take her away from Chris, Chris doesn't see it like that, but he should.
No, I've locked that down with Finley.
Right. You've got that on lockdown now. It's mine.
Oh, I shouldn't say that. I'm only joking.
I'm gonna send her that clip now, but that's fine.
Oh
Uh,
no.
but yeah, because like all the different characters as well. I know Frankenstein was good. I know who my favorite like character and portrayal in this. Who was yours?
Right. I've got two.
Right.
Right. My first one was the reason why I actually started watching this series was G.I. Robot.
Hmm.
Because with the state of the world at the minute, I've seen a lot of clips of G.I. Robot on the talk show. Joe, and
Hmm.
he's like, that's the kind of thing a Nazi would say. And I'm like, what's this about? That's what initially got us into it, and I just love that character.
Yeah.
But my joint top is also Dr. Phosphorus.
Right. Alan
Um,
Tudyk is amazing as Dr. Phosphorus as
yeah,
well. You get every single personality with this character as well, and I was so living for it.
yeah. Even have you noticed that I don't know what he was called before Dr. Phosphorus, but when he's just a scientist, he looks
Hmm.
exactly like Alan Tudyk anyway.
Yeah, no, I think that's what
It's
they've
like his
done really well.
modeling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely
But
brilliant.
how about you?
Dr. Phosphorus, like again, he was the standout, and again, it's weird saying he's a standout on such because the level was so high. And I think with a lot of the DC animation, they do get the voice actors so well, like having Jensen Ackles as Batman in previous ones, it was again perfect casting. But yeah, Alan Tudyk just took it to a different level, and the character was just so
Yeah,
fun. You could tell he was just enjoying himself.
yeah,
Again, Dr. Phosphorus isn't really a character I know too much because he's more of the Batman Beyond realm. He's not
right.
like normal DC, so it was quite interesting seeing it. And his backstory episode again, that's the one that broke the internet, I think, because that was the first time because everyone was trying to get a glimpse or enhancing the photo of Batman to see because James Gunn was a bit cheeky with this one. He said this is going to be the how Batman is going to look in his DC universe, and he just put it as a silhouette. So everyone was like trying to brighten it up, trying to enhance it, and it was
Yeah,
just a black image, so it was hilarious. But it caused such a stir. But having like because there's a few elements where it does the connection to the DC universe in this, and it does it well. Like when they do the view from the future, and you see the Batman, Superman on the crucifix, and you
yeah,
see the new Batman, Superman logo on there and covered in blood and everything. It was like, oh, that was brilliant. And then seeing having Batman just as a silhouette, that you didn't need Batman coming down and braying the shit out of Doctor Phosphorus or breaking up the party. You just needed the silhouette, and you knew shit was going to get real. And again,
yeah,
it's like building up to where it's going to go. So that kind of elements, I was like, this is just so well done, and the storytelling as well. But again, Dr. Phosphorus, unbelievable, well done.
and I think he's a good dancer in his little fur coat as well, with his little gang members. I shouldn't say little; he's big gang members.
It's big gangers. His power's interesting as well because he's radioactive, or he's like
Yeah,
completely, and he's just a skeleton. Like he's got the best one-liners as well. I think one of them says, "Why are you smiling?" He's good. I'm a skeleton. How can you tell I'm smiling? And he's like, "But I
yeah,
am." But he like say he wears clothes at times, but the clothes don't burn off him. But then he goes up and touches them. It's like almost like he turns it up or irradiates it and stuff. Because then he
yeah,
can
yeah,
do like phases out of his hands where he does like blasts. Like because his fight with Rick Flag Senior is one of the best like animated fights I've seen in a long time. It was
yeah,
brutal as fuck as well. Like it was really,
yeah,
really and what I loved about it as well, like the action scene is there was repercussions afterwards. Like Flag had a fight and he wasn't instantly healed. He had scars, he had burn
yeah,
marks, and it was there for a few episodes as well. It wasn't just like wiped away, like getting the magic sponge and saying, "Oh, everything's healed now." Like
yeah,
there was kind of like ramifications for fighting a radioactive man, which there would be, and that again, the continuity to do that is such just good storytelling. And if
yeah.
that's the level of storytelling that they're going to continue, fuck, we're in for some treats. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, actually, on the point of that animation, what did you think about it being bloody? It is a bit gory. Like even
Mm,
talking about Dr. Phosphorus, I distinctly remember from the last episode, he
mhm,
goes behind a god, and you think, oh, he's just gonna put his hand over his mouth. He does, but then his hand keeps going and just
mm,
takes his head off. There's
mhm,
loads of heads being popped, arms being ripped off, all that
mm.
sort, and it's it is graphically animated. It's not
Mm.
like shying away from it where it's cutting away or implied violence. Well,
I think with DC Comics, since around about again, I'll if I say this wrong, fanboys come for us. I don't care. Since around the 80s, they were more geared towards the adult audience. They moved away from the 1960s Adam West Batman and like the comics of the time where they were very colorful, had like wham, bang, wank
yeah,
when they
yeah,
were hitting people and stuff. They moved it to like say the Frank Miller age where they started being darker and again, people stopped looking at it as like a kids thing to read comics. It was more based on the adults. That's why like bad language started coming in. I remember Batman the animated TV cartoon in the 90s as well. Again,
yes,
it was a cartoon that was shown on kids' TV, but the tones and the feel of it and the style was very adult. And I remember it
yeah,
had the first swear word I ever heard in a cartoon was on a Batman when one of the goons told Batman to piss off. I was like, freaking out as a kid saying just swore on kids' TV because they mustn't
yeah,
have spotted it and have just let it play. But I don't mind it being as adults as long as again I do think certain kids can watch this cartoon because again the violence is so over the top in comic book, it's not going to warp or like create child killers or monsters out there. It's
mm,
not child killers like ch children that will kill. That sounded wrong, but it's gonna it's it's interesting, it's fun, it's vibrant, but at the same, I don't know if they will get all the tones, but again. And again, the only thing I did feel a little bit weirded out for, and again, this might be me being a personal choice, is just the sex scenes because again, you don't really
yeah,
want to see sex scenes in cartoons because it's
yeah,
just again, you don't. We're at a stage now where we know people have sex, and like you can build relationships where you don't have to physically have to see it. You can imply it, but they
yeah,
wanted to go out like seeing the Bride of Frankenstein's tits was a bit okay. That's
yeah.
interesting.
Hmm.
And then seeing Fish Girl swim through the ocean completely naked, I was like, okay, so she's anatomically correct. Good for her. Uh, but again, that's probably the only thing I felt a bit ick about.
No, I totally agree. Even watching, even coming from watching the anime background,
Mm,
I'm not a big fan of nudity unless it's got something integral to do with the plot or there's a
mm,
specific reason. But yeah, the sex scenes were a bit. Uh, I
mm,
could skip. I mean, at least there was jokes like when the princess was in the toilet,
mhm,
and there's Doctor Phosphorus and is it the weasel outside knocking on the door, but I'll give him 5 minutes
mm.
when the guard's trying to get in. I thought that was all right because
Yeah,
again you
but again,
didn't see
you don't
anything.
say anything. It's just like they implied, and that was the gag. So that
Yeah,
played a part. But when you saw like as you said, Dr. Frankenstein banging away on the table. It was like, okay, this has gone on for a couple of seconds longer than I need to. You could have just implied and
yeah,
had the Frankenstein's monster in the background, like getting angrier and angrier. And it was like, okay, that's in. But it was like, okay, well, it's still going. They're still going. Maybe stop it now. Oh no, he's really hammering that home. But yeah, um,
yeah,
but no, that was probably the only thing I felt was out of place in this whole thing. But even when they went to like the brothel was handled really well and funny
yeah.
at the same time.
Hmm.
Um, but so that, again, that's the type of jokes and humor. If you want to be like an adult film, again, do it well there. But I, but the violence side of it didn't bother us because, as I said, it's a cartoon. Yeah, expect violence, you expect, but what you didn't expect was the twists. Like this was just like throwing you in loops. You didn't know whether you were coming or going half the time.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
that was the thing I was enjoying. It was like, is she really a bad guy? Is she a good guy? Is she a bad guy? Who's right? Nobody knows until the final episode, and you go, okay, everything fits into place.
So actually, what kind of vibe are you getting from Ilana Rostovic, the princess?
It's a difficult one now because if you're thinking about like TV shows or films from the 80s or 90s, you would have nailed on she was the bad guy from the start
Right.
because basically she's an empowered, cocky, confident princess. But again, now. the way women are portrayed on shows is like I said, it's not that's not unnormal, if that makes sense, for a woman to be confident or a woman to like think. So we
Yeah,
kind of reverted back to type a little bit, which again is not a bad thing because you're playing into the story, but it made it like unsure. You were like, all right, because you don't want to be the guy saying, oh, she's acting like full of herself, so she's got to be a bad guy. But that's
yeah.
so you don't want to kind of play onto them type of stereotypes. But they did. They went with it.
To be fair, I thought straight away something's up with her.
Right.
When
It's it's because he was trying to nail Rick Flag scene, and you're like, ah, she's too hot for him.
not even that, right? I thought, right, they've oh, what's it called? Pakistan.
Hmm.
They joined. They were a secluded nation, country, and they've just joined the rest of the world.
Hmm.
Opened up the borders, and then the American government sends in a team of freaks, a
Hmm.
glowy guy, a little mongrel dog thing, an undead woman, etc., a fish person,
Hmm.
and she's just like, all right. I thought that's weird. That how can she accept that so fast?
I think if what you've got to take your mind out of, it's not real world politics. You've got to think about you're in a world where Superman can fly, space aliens are coming down, attacking the Earth. Batman is fighting the Joker on a daily basis. Like all this news would have been flying about and things. So
Yeah,
having a team, but what you got to remember as well, unofficially, this group that come from Task Force M, they're not officially there. So that's why
yeah,
they've been sent. So if anything does happen, the US government can, like I say, not no knowledge, they're not part of us. They're a raw group of monsters that were there. So that's kind of that element to it. But again, that I probably didn't think of the thought process with that aspect. The only thing, again, she wasn't overly aggressive with certain aspects. So again, you're not
yeah.
too sure. But then when you get the kind of like the mutant, the witch coming in to attack the city, and that was the kind of element I was going to. I just didn't expect the double bluff, where she was kind of telling the truth, but again, it was all orchestrated by the princess in the end to to basically get what she wanted, like start the war and take over the world. The only
Yeah.
element I would have liked to see play out is with her having a like not much of an army, and these monsters were able to take out the army and win. She was meant to take over the world with superheroes like Superman, Batman, and stuff like that. That would have been interesting to see how she would have done that because it doesn't really go into it. Because if she was being able to like to get beaten at the start by certain elements, I don't know if it's like creeping in the back door and taking people out sneakily. Again, that was something that I didn't quite grasp or didn't quite switch on to me head. Or
I
maybe I was
I
just looking
I
into too much there.
I just assumed that she was teaming up with villains because when you see the Vision scene, you saw Superman on a crucifix,
Hmm.
same with Batman and a couple of other superheroes.
Hmm.
So I thought she would have been like on the side of the
Getting the
baddies,
villains
and
in,
then
bringing them in like a super
yeah,
team type thing. All right, because yeah,
and
because
because
she's working with Clearface as well, so that was a
yeah,
thing. And they didn't make that again. Sorry to jump onto this one, but they
no,
didn't make Clearface a joke because Clear. If you watch, because there's been like another DC cartoon that's been out, like there's a few seasons. It is very funny. The Harley Quinn series,
right,
the one with her at the Big Bang, what you called now, Penny from the Big Bang, as Harley Quinn. They've got
right,
Clearface in that, and he's just like a really failed actor, and he's just like really embarrassing, really stupid. Where a man that can create any type of form and like go soft, hard, that's the title of a sex tape, at whim, like is one of the most deadliest like bad guys out there, and they portrayed him as that as well, which was quite interesting, and I quite enjoyed that aspect of it.
yeah. I was saying I like the fight between Frankenstein
Mm,
Rick Flag Senior and Clayface because it was just like, yeah, he's fucking them up, yeah.
mm,
And it's just like, yeah, he's an anamorphous blob who's I know he was playing on the Xbox or whatever,
mm,
but he clocked onto them straight away.
mm,
He he got around Frankenstein's strength, uh, Rick Flag's bullets, his fighting as well, and he was a
Hmm.
decent baddie.
No, definitely. One thing again, I think sometimes with these type of shows, they can be scared to pull the trigger with certain aspects. This one
Right.
wasn't. They went for characters and went, right, you're thinking, oh, everyone's going to get out. Everyone, because they made these characters mean something.
Yeah.
Like each one had a backstory. Each one give you such in depth that you kind of like them. I know Chris is a bit heartless towards one and stopped caring. Um, but like we've touched on it earlier, the Weasel episode broke me in so many places because it's so well done, and it's not what you're expecting. It's no way that you expect because they portray it that is a child killing monster, and so you're waiting to see him be this child killing monster, and he's really not.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
beautifully done and so nicely done. And then it's just like ripped away, saying man is the real monster in that type of environment because uh, of like the preconceptions and going from there. But that is perfect. But then with like other characters, like when you're getting towards the end, they just go, right, fuck it. We've made you fall in love with these characters or care about these characters. Not all of them's going to make it to the end. And I know
Yeah.
you were destroyed when you thought GI Robot. Uh,
Oh, when I saw him, he comes back, right? Last episode. Right, I'm not bothered about spoilers. It is fucking amazing because you go into the prison and they're like, oh, obviously all of the squad are incarcerated for some reason, which you find out in the backstory, and then it's just like, oh yeah, we'll give you a special treat. We'll give you your own abandoned wing for your team, and they go in and there's GI Robot reporting for duty, drinking his little oil can. I was buzzing.
but
I
seeing
can't wait
him
to see more of him.
But seeing him in his glory when they went, kill all the Nazis, GI, and he's like, just goes up in the air because he's been given upgrades and he's like blowing everyone away. But then
Yeah,
it blows up and you think, no, he's not dead. He's dead because his lights go off and everything. You,
yeah.
and that's the sad part. But then, like I say, the lass who's basically playing the creature from the Black Lagoon in this one, she gets killed, and Chris was like, "Oh, fuck her." But she's the only nice one in all of them. She's the heart in the team.
But see the other characters, the reason why I don't like it is because the morality's hard to pin down until you see when you see the backstory. Like you see Dr. Phosphorus, his tragic backstory where his partner and his kid were killed by some kingpin
Yeah, it's like a
for,
mafia
to
mafia
find
hit type thing. Yeah.
yeah, and then he goes to the Pagolistan. He sees a child by herself, and she's hungry, so he makes a cereal, and then it alludes to being like, all the gods in this city are after me,
Mm,
and you're a witness. And then it goes to the next scene, and he's like, "Yeah, he's playing with her," and
mm,
you're like, "Could he have killed that kid?" You
mm.
don't know. There's always that question in the back of your hand back of your mind, because you're like. Whereas you'd like to think that they wouldn't. They
Yeah.
are technically all monsters, and they see it us and them because they've been
Mm.
incarcerated, they've been shat on by society,
Yeah.
utterly shat on, and you're like, well, if I was in the same position, I might do something like that. Whereas,
So what you're saying is
whereas
don't mess with Chris because he'll fuck you over.
if I was glowy and nothing could hurt us, I would be a proper villain.
If you were
Um,
Chloe.
But if you were with the fish girl's backstory, it's just like oh yeah, she had a birth defect where her lungs were outside of her body.
Mhm,
Our mum couldn't take it,
mhm,
rejected her. Her dad was luckily some inventor,
mhm.
and experiment got wrong, turned her into a fish lass.
Yeah.
Um, where she's like on the fringe where she wasn't born like that. She went to school, had a nice loving father. Everything was her choice.
Yeah.
She'd left her family. Sorry, she'd left her dad, went off into the sewers to float like swim around with the turds and that.
Mhm.
And like
Right.
then she gets captured because she was stupid and she got seen by locals and she did this and she's been doing whatever. Um, I don't know. I just kind of feel sorry for her.
Right. No, it's fine. I get, like I said, different people have different levels of what thing. I just thought she was the heart to the team, but I know
Yeah,
your backstory. Like she was bullied, like having and it was quite brutal, the bullying as well. Like get like someone who she thought was being nice to her made her say ribbit, like kind of like some
Yeah,
kind of kinky sex thing, which just felt. Ugh. But no,
just kids in
again,
it.
yeah, but kind of like again having the balls to say, right, you've got these characters that you kind of like, killing them. And again, I was even sad when Frankenstein died because I didn't expect that. Like
Yeah,
when because he was such a big character and he was almost having like a moment, and he was trying to stop the princess from being killed, even though it was a mistake. He still had the bride's interest at heart, even though he was like say the Andrew
in
Tate
his own
of
warped went.
uh, Andrew Tate of the monster world.
Yeah,
But yeah, I was a bit sad when he actually got got killed, and it was done really well because you didn't think that he would go out like that, but and you thought, oh, he'll survive that, and it was just like, oh no, he's dead. But then, like as you said, when you go through and get all the different aspects, what did you think of the team at the end? Like they kind of hinted at the new team because they had a killer king shark there as well. So I don't know.
yes,
I don't
yeah.
know whether that was like just a piss take, or I don't know if we will get more creature combat. I do think
And
Commandos. Sorry.
the the gargoyle lass as well. You know,
Hmm.
the bully in the main prison.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm very happy for them to cycle through
Mhm.
lesser known characters and be like, oh, here's Blob Man or something, and give him a tragic backstory, then kill him off. I don't mind. I don't mind stuff like that.
Again, if they do a second season, which most likely they will, because this has been a huge success in America. It's not been released in the UK yet, I don't believe.
Yeah, no, it hasn't.
We had to watch it through dodgy means.
We
Um,
flew to America and watched it. What do you mean?
on the nerdy up north plane. Uh, oh, I shouldn't say that. People will start rumors again now. But yeah,
Don't tell me about the jet.
going to talk about the secret jet, the Wonder Woman's jet as well. But yeah, that would be quite interesting. Um, I just don't want them to do like get involved with like day to day like stuff. If they went, oh, like we're going to go to Gotham and like certain aspects, I like that they were going off into this like different world, this different place, and it was quite fantasy.
Yeah,
It was almost like seeing like Frankenstein's castle and stuff like that. Found that really intriguing, really interesting. Love the look, love the vibe. I think if they start bringing it back, saying we're sending Task Force M to Metropolis to fight like Solomon Grundy and a team of zombies, I'm like, oh, no, let's have a bit of fun. Let's take it
yeah.
to somewhere we've not had before, a little bit more interesting. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. Again, if you're watching and like, let us know what you think. How do you feel like you want to see the Commandos going in the future?
I mean, even say if they did take this squad to Metropolis or something, I don't want to see Superman. I don't
Mm,
want to see any of the big hitters
mhm.
in these series. I want the ragtag bunch of little monsters with
Hmm.
they're just ripping people apart and they're not. I don't know.
There's no
I can't. I
consequences
love
because
that
they are
about it.
monsters. So that's
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like, oh, Superman ripped someone's arm off. I'll report that in the news. But if a little ferret boy does it, you're
Mm.
like, well, yeah. What do you expect?
We'll start calling Lee Weasel now because I think that would be a good fit.
We
But
can do. I don't think you'll like it though.
no, I think he's already upset with us at the moment. Bless him. We're lovely. We're not. Stop being busy, Lee, so you can have fun with us.
I know. I know.
Bless.
Um. So saying the things that were like, do you have any genuine personal criticisms of it? Do you think?
Just as I said, the things that made us feel a bit ick, but I think the storytelling, it probably could have done with one less episode. I think 7 episodes felt a bit long, which is weird because, but the episode's
Yeah.
length time, they were about 40, like between 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know, I haven't got the runtime open, but I'm not bored. I just felt it was like, story could have been over like a lot tighter. So there's a lot
Yeah.
of like meandering or like stuff that didn't need to be there at times. But again, that's probably just down to personal preference and what we're getting now. I think I would have loved this more if it was a one shot, like rather than a TV show, like have it as a an hour and a half, like video, like not a movie, but like a special. and have it like running
Right.
through. I thought it would have like would have told the story a little bit tighter.
I don't know for the main story, yeah, but I don't think that would have worked for. I like the idea of having
Mm.
each character having their own
Or no,
episode,
moments
especially
like.
with yeah, because I mean I don't know anything about Fish Girl
Mm.
or Dr. Phosphorus, and I
Mhm.
want to know.
Mhm.
I like that, and I thought they were in
Mhm.
my head they were the main stories, and the whole arc storyline with the princess was
Mhm.
in the background, kind of
No,
justifying
yeah. No, you're right.
justifying
Yeah.
it.
No, definitely. Again, it's down to like I think a preference, but again, that's why I love having these conversations because you might take from that and like think, oh, I don't agree, which is great. And again,
Yeah.
there's certain aspects to the show I probably would have cut out, but there's certain things that might not have had the same feel, might be felt different, but it definitely is worth a watch though. Anyone who hasn't seen it, I would go out
Mm.
of my way to actually try and see it just because the characters are so well rounded and so well done. It is fun. You never think you would actually enjoy because if you watch the Bride of Frankenstein movie from Universal, it's let's be honest, it's not a great movie. It's iconic because of its looks, but it's not a great movie to watch. Where
Sorry,
this,
Sammy.
Samuel agree, I think she fell asleep during it a few times. Um, but besmirching the Monster Queen there. Uh, sorry, Samuel will not watch this. It's fine. She'll
Eh,
say she will, but she won't. We'll test her later. But yeah, but no, I haven't got anything really to add to that other than like say go and watch it because I think it is a special show.
well, I was going to say my final question was going to be, is it worth a watch?
Yeah,
Which
I
I
just
I
answered.
totally agree with it. Yep. Definitely worth a watch. Watch it when it comes out in the UK, or like we did, fly to America, get a
Be,
subscription or whatever it's playing on, and then watch it there.
be a pirate,
But yeah,
like say.
oh,
Go,
but
go.
we can't say that. We
Of
can't
course we
say
can.
that.
Of course we can. Dodgy up north. The strikes again. I'm not going to tell
Or
you how to
join the
do it.
Discord. Join the Discord, and I'll tell you how to do it.
Yeah. Too many people's joined the Discord now. People's getting upset. Say
It'll
no.
be fine.
I'm sick of
It'll be
everyone.
fine.
It's all going to
But
be well.
yeah, thanks for coming today, because I think that's us,
Mhm.
and discussing Creature Commandos with us.
Thank you for
Talk
having us,
about.
Chris.
It's all
So
right.
yes,
Do you have anything to plug?
no.
Fair enough. Stuff will be in the description below. If you're a writer as well, you can actually submit articles, reviews, whatever you want to the is it you on Facebook or or
There's
the
a
Discord?
yeah, you can send us a Discord, Facebook, and the email address is on the website, which is www.nerdyupnorth.co.uk. Or just type in Nerdy Up North in Google. It's the first thing that pops up, so don't worry.
Because to be fair, it's been class to see the amount of people that have been contacting you to get stuff published as well.
Mhm. Still waiting for Chris's beautiful writing. If he's going to tell us a short story about his adventures to Mordor and how he helped Sam and Frodo throw it in the ring. He was the Hobbit that was cut out of Lord of the Rings. Poor Chris.
Yeah,
That'd be actually a good story to tell.
I'll do a tell-all article
Yes,
soon.
tell all. Screw you guys. I'm going home. Yes. Just search Nerdy Up North anywhere you find. You'll see our faces on everything, so that's fine.
But anyway, cheers. Bye.
Bye. Love you.